Fluent and chill, yeah, we call it how it's played. From the field to the court, every legend gets played. Fourth quarter heat over 2-minute drill. If you can't handle the truth, better chill with the skill. LeBron and MJ, we break that smoke.
What the closest thing to perfection will that make you?
Stats don't lie, we just let them spill. This is real talk sports, welcome to Fluent and Chill. Fluent and chill, yeah, we call it how it's played. From the field to the court, every legend gets weighed.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, Fluent and Chill. So it's chill right now, but Tony will be here in a little bit. Don't you worry about that. So in the meantime, I am Chilltown Hoops. You know what it is. You know where to find us at. Me and my man Tony, we do this every Tuesday night right here on the Chilltown Hoops Network and the Sports Fluent Network. We talk pro basketball, the good, the bad, the indifferent. We don't waste any time. We get right to it. So let's get right to it. Now, what I don't understand, right? What I don't understand, but before I get into that, I want to know from the people out there, how y'all doing tonight? Is everything good? Because this is one of, if not the best season that I've seen. I've seen the last season was the best season that I've ever seen. This season is shaping up to be even better than what last season was. I got a 7.5-foot dude running in. I got a 7.5-foot dude running around, cracking the long ball in the meat and potatoes of the game where they're running ISOs for him, right? That's exactly what's going on. So I got a guy that's quietly was averaging almost 40 a game after he got traded. I mean, that's going on. I got another guy who was under the radar, not much going on with people paying attention, like myself, people paying attention to Joker, people paying attention to Luka, people paying attention to SGA. Meanwhile, there's this Greek freak, literally, a Greek freak in Milwaukee doing unspeakable things. That's going on in the NBA, right? And then we got this second option in Los Angeles that's averaging a measly 25 a game. I never thought that I would be alive during a time when 25 a game was nothing. Because to be honest with you, that's what it seems like, right? I never thought that I would be around during a time where 25 a game was scoffed at. Just so you know, just in 2013, that was 12 years ago, Carmelo Anthony led the league in scoring. He was averaging 28 a game. 28. Now we're in a space where 25 a game is, all right, you're doing work. And that's the second guy. That's actually the third guy. Now we're in a space where if you're not averaging 30, if you're not averaging 35, you're really not doing work. Yo, this guy could average 40 a game, which I haven't seen that. I've seen a guy average 40 a game for a stretch. I've seen a guy put 40 a game on nine different teams straight. But to do that for an entire season, I think that's a little much, right? But in today's game, I got a guy that's in Denver who basically looks like a polar bear. And for most of you guys, you don't think that he cares about basketball. Meanwhile, he's 25, 13, and 11, or 12, I'm sorry, on ridiculous efficiency. That's what's going on in the NBA today, as opposed to years ago when the game was super slow or the game was much more physical. I have graduated to enjoying what the game is today. I'm not one of these people that's stuck in it being 1987. I know that it's not that anymore. And I am well aware of the talent that's running around in the NBA. I'm well aware of how much better these guys look to me than they have. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that there's some give and take here, but I think we're in a space, man, where the game is in a good place. And I think that we are moving on from some of these older guys, right? I think we are moving on from some of these older guys and ready to usher some of these new guys in. And since we're on the subject of older guys, right? Since we're on the subject of older guys, I mean, since we're not older guys, let me take that back. Since we're on the subject of moving on, so I do understand both sides of this. On the outside looking in, you don't trade the 25-year-old, 26-year-old superstar. You don't trade him. It just doesn't make sense at all. I get that. I 100% get that. This isn't something where I'm oblivious to it, but I also get it from the aspect of a general manager. Remember what the job is of a general manager. The general manager, my job is to manage the team. And that's not just from a player's standpoint. That's from a financial standpoint too. And when I think about how this whole thing transpired, it does make sense. And the reason why I'm saying that is because on the one hand, I have a 26-year-old who has been nothing short of phenomenal. Now, he's been great. First team All-NBA, I think 5 straight years. Not only was he first team All-NBA 5 straight years, 2 of the last 3 years, he took his team to the Western Conference Championship and the NBA Championship. that went on. The problem is he's a little bit there's some character issues with him. He's lazy. He doesn't really work hard. He doesn't take care of himself. Like, that's stuff that some people don't think that we can fix. So if that's stuff that we don't think we can fix, you couple that in with, right? You couple that in with a management that isn't really paying what Luka is asking for. These two things now become mutually inclusive. What do I mean when I say that? I mean that I already feel this way about him. Then you add in the caveat that you don't want to pay him. Now these two things basically come together like peanut butter and jelly. Because on the one hand, management is thinking, we really don't want to pay him upwards of $60 to $70 million. Okay, we're not interested in doing that. And there's also the feeling from management, and when I'm talking about management, I'm talking about owners. There's also the feeling from owners that, you know what, maybe this guy isn't as dedicated as we think he is. Maybe him being out of shape, maybe that's a result. I mean, him being out of shape, that's a result of him being injured, which means he doesn't take care of his body, which means he doesn't dedicate himself to this, which would explain why I ain't really interested in paying him. One guy, and the other guy in management is also saying, we ain't winning with this guy. We're not going to win the NBA championship with him because he's not committed on the defensive end. He doesn't take care of his body. He's not committed to what we're doing around here. And we're trying to win it in an era where it's possible to win the NBA championship right now. And maybe if we made a few tweaks, maybe we can win this thing right now. So management says, you know what? That sounds like a good idea. We don't want to pay him. Nico says, well, that sounds like a good idea because I don't think we're winning with him. So two things, both of these things being mutually inclusive, are justifying the other. I don't want to pay him. We're not winning with him because he's this. And they already think that about him anyway. Now, here's the difference, though. The difference is that something like this doesn't just come about. What I mean when I say that something like this doesn't just come about, I don't think that Nico and Rob Pelinka just got on the phone one day and said, hey, how you feel about trading Luka to the Lakers, and I'll give you Anthony Davis and maybe one of these kids I got. How do you feel about that? I don't think that that's something that just happened one day. I think that that's a conversation that went on for quite a while. And after time, almost like an affair, right? You don't just, this guy didn't just start sleeping with your wife. That didn't happen. This was something that was going on conversations were had previous to this. So with that being said, I think this is a situation that we're in. I feel like this is a situation that we're in where Rob and Nico Harrison, I think that they sat down, whether it was somewhere secluded, whether they kind of bumped into each other and it wasn't really a big deal, and they started talking to each other about it. How do you feel about not talking to each other about trading Anthony Davis or trading Luka? It was more like, these are the problems that I'm having with this guy. I'm having problems with Anthony Davis. The injuries are mounting, and I'm really not sure how many more years I'm going to get. But I do think that I still have some good years left in him. I'm not sure how many, but I do think that I have some good years left in him. And the same logic with Rob. Not with Rob, I'm sorry, with Nico. I feel like we're right there at the doorstep. If he would just commit to being a defender more, if he would take care of his body more. And I think conversations like that went on for quite a while, up until the point, right? Up until the point until now they start entertaining, what would it look like? If you were ever interested in moving on from Luka, like what would something like that look like? I'm just asking. I'm not saying that you're interested in trading him. I'm not saying that this is something that you're interested in doing. But if that was something that came about, like what would you be interested in for him? Like what would make sense for you? Is it a money thing? Because I do understand, I'm a general manager also. I understand about the money. I understand how to make this thing work. I do get that part. But with that being said, there's going to be a lot of backlash. I definitely get that part. There's going to be a lot of backlash. There's going to be a lot of people that aren't interested in you doing this. So I know that you ain't even entertaining this right now. I get that part wholeheartedly. But if you were, what would it look like? What would it take to get a deal like this done? And I think that's how the conversation kind of progressed, right? I think that's how the conversation kind of progressed. And it's not a situation where Dallas didn't shop Luka, because when you call up Milwaukee, when you call up Milwaukee and you ask for Giannis, hey, I was wondering how you guys, how y'all feeling about Giannis these days? Because I got Luka over here, and there may be some interest in moving him. Just an idea. I'm just wondering, how you guys feel about him? Okay. Once Milwaukee says no, that's the bar now, right? That's where we are now. Once Milwaukee says no, that's the bar, which means that I can't call up Denver and go, hey, Denver, how y'all feeling about Joker? I can't call up Oklahoma City and go, hey, how y'all feeling about SGA these days? Like I'm thinking about the better teams in the league. I can't call up Boston and go, hey, how y'all feeling about JT these days? This was before he tore up his This is before he tore up his Achilles, right? I can't call up Boston and go, hey, how y'all feeling about JT these days? No, stuff like that, right? I can't do that. And the reason why I can't do that is because I already set the bar. If Milwaukee told me no, now I understand that there's a mutually inclusive idea between both management in terms of ownership and the general manager. But I also understand the logic that these two, once I ask for Giannis, I can't ask for SGA. I can't ask for Joker, because those two things are mutually exclusive. But I'm not really sure that they are, off the strength that this was the bar. This is where I set the bar. The first person I called was Milwaukee, right? The first person I called was Milwaukee. And the GM with the Milwaukee Bucks, he's not a terrible GM. I actually think he's a good GM. And if you call him, right, and if you call him and you ask for Giannis, okay, did he immediately shut that down? I don't know if he immediately shut it down more than right. I don't know if he immediately shut it down more than it was. You know what do you get? I think he listened. Well, what do you mean? Like, you're interested in moving Luka, and if you're interested in moving Luka, what do you want for him? Well, could I have Giannis for him? Okay, you want Giannis, and you're going to give me Luka. What else are you going to give me in addition to Luka? Because again, I'm giving you. Don't get me wrong, Giannis and Luka. I think that I don't think that they're that far apart, right? I don't think that we're that far apart, but this is the best. This is, in his estimation, the general manager for the Milwaukee Bucks. He thinks that Giannis is the best player in the league. That's what I'm giving you. This is the guy whose name is on the moniker. I'm giving you the best player in the league. So if I'm giving you the best player in the league, I need something like that back. Now, I think that Luka is one of the 5 best players in the league, but I'm sure that the general manager of Milwaukee is like, nah, I don't think that makes sense for my group. Nope, I think I'm going to pass on that. That doesn't mean that your guy isn't great, but I think I'm going to pass on that. So now what that does is that sets the bar. So if I call up Denver, because again, if I'm calling up Milwaukee, this is where it starts, right? If I'm calling up Milwaukee, this is where it starts. I can't call up Milwaukee and then call up, I don't know, Washington and ask for Alex Sarr. I can't do that. No, this is where I set the bar at. I'm starting here. So if I'm calling up Milwaukee, I got to call Denver, right? And am I wasting my time calling Denver? Yes, I am. I'm wasting my time calling him. And my grandmother always told me. My grandmother told me a lot. My grandmother told me a lot of stuff. She had a 6th grade education. Smartest woman that I ever met in my whole life. Right? Smartest woman I ever met in my whole life. She never learned how to drive. Never learned how to drive. But smartest woman I ever met in my life. And she says to me the simplest things that still resonate with me today. And she said, Jermaine, you'd be surprised what you get in life if you just ask. If you just asked. If you just said, yo, can I have this? What's the worst that they could say? No. Well, I think that once Rob called up, not Rob, I'm sorry. Once Nico called up Milwaukee and they said no, he didn't even waste any of his time with Denver. He didn't waste any of his time with SGA in Oklahoma City. It was like, why am I even calling up these guys? No reason to call these guys up. Because if I call them up, right? If I call them up, they're going to tell me the same thing that Milwaukee told me. And I don't really want to waste any time with this. Plus, I may have Rob on the hook, right? I may have Rob on the hook. And if I got Rob on the hook and I can move off of him and I can get an aging big who's still got some years left, who's still elite, I can get him. And in the process of me getting him, I can revamp some of this roster. Because if I'm looking at the way that this works, and again, this is what I'm going into the mind of Nico Harrison. If I can get this aging big who's still awesome, who's still a top 10 player in the league, arguably a top 5 player in the league, if I could get him, and in the process of getting him, I can revamp my roster just a little bit because I got these 3 bigs. I got Kyrie Irving, who's awesome still. We were just in the NBA championship a year ago with him. Klay Thompson there's still some, for lack of a better term, there's still some meat on the bone there. Still, right? So with there still being some meat on the bone there with him, okay, then I got these rotation guys. So now what I'm doing is I'm revamping my identity. I'm not revamping the roster. I'm revamping my identity. We're going to put the ball in Kyrie's hands a little bit more. In the process of putting the ball in Kyrie Irving's hands, we have the guys to protect Kyrie Irving as a defender with guys like Marshall, with guys like Max Christie, with Anthony Davis, with Derek Lively, with Gafford. We got these bigs around the rim. So I can put this group together and maybe we can make a push for this thing. And then you see what Anthony Davis looks like in that first game against Houston, and you're like, well, maybe this can work. But here's the problem. The problem is when you make a deal like this, right? When you make a deal like this isn't a deal that gets made and you're playing the long game. No. This is a deal that gets made, and this got to work right now. That's why I said we got a 3-year window, right? We got 3 years to make this thing work. We don't have 5-6 years to build a unit. Nope. We got 3 years to do it. This thing got to work now. And when it doesn't work now, and when it's working somewhere, and when it's working for the other guy in the other place, it looks even worse. Because the one thing that I found out, because one of the many things that I found out in watching pro basketball all of these years is winning cures a lot. People get amnesia when you win. They forget a lot of stuff that happened previous to this when you win. A lot of stuff goes by the wayside. A lot of stuff just goes away that people forget about. Now, if Anthony Davis stays healthy, which Nico Harrison was banking on, and they make a run to the NBA championship, and they basically just get back to where they were with Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving, who tore up his ACL, which Nico Harrison did not anticipate that. No, I didn't anticipate that Anthony Davis would get hurt. I didn't anticipate that Kyrie Irving would be out for the season. No, I didn't anticipate that. But that is what happened. And in the process of that happening, that throws a monkey wrench in everything we're doing. You know what else I didn't anticipate? I didn't anticipate that Anthony Davis was going to come to camp 15 pounds overweight. I didn't anticipate that he'd be fat, which also contributes to him being injured. I already went through that with another guy, which is why I didn't think we could win with him. But now I turn around and I got you doing that, and you're not, and he's a better player than you are. That throws a monkey wrench in what I'm trying to do. So now management is looking at this whole thing because the Dallas Mavericks are at the bottom of the league. So now management is looking at this whole thing going, he made a mistake. When in reality, you were on board with this. Because if this works, you are 100% brushing your shoulders. You are 100% popping your collar. No doubt about that. That's going on. No doubt about that you're doing that. No doubt about it, you're doing that. But because this thing went the other way and Nico had some unfortunate luck, which is Anthony Davis getting hurt, Kyrie Irving tearing up his knee, Anthony Davis coming back to camp out of shape, not ready to play, that throws a monkey wrench in your plan. Because this is a plan which I understand wholeheartedly, right? I understand this plan wholeheartedly. This is something that if this works, you look like a genius. You do. You look fantastic if this thing works. If it doesn't work, you look like an idiot. And I understand the logic because Nico was put in a really bad space, right? Nico wasn't put in a spot where this was a win, even though this trade could have been a win-win. And again, I'm not jumping off the ledge. And the reason why I'm not jumping off the ledge is because we barely into the season. And with us barely being into the season, things can turn around. That's not my opinion. That's a fact. I've seen things turn around. I mean, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the Clippers a couple of years ago, I mean, I think they started, this is how they started, and then they ended up finishing 4th in the Western Conference. And this is where they started at, by the way, right? So I'm not jumping out the window. But with that being said, I do understand that when you make a deal like this, one of two things is going on, right? One of two things is going on when you make a deal like this. Either this is going to work or you're going to look like an idiot, which would explain why, and I'm sure you guys remember this, when Kobe Bryant demanded to be traded in 2007, and Mitch Kupchak was like, I am not going to be the general manager who traded Shaq and then 3 years later traded Kobe Bryant. I'm not going to be that dude. No. Hell no. Because if I'm that dude, that means that I am never. I'm going to put, and I very rarely use the word never. In fact, I don't use the word never. But Mitch Kupchak is saying to himself, I'm never getting another job again. So I'm not trading Kobe Bryant. Nope. Even though there was a deal in place. And if we're being honest, Kobe Bryant basically saved Mitch Kupchak's career because there was a deal to Detroit and the deal was done. Right? The deal was done. Bryant was the one who backed out because he had a no trade clause in his contract. Right? He had a no trade clause in his contract. The deal was done. He was like, nah, I'm good. Otherwise, he's going to Detroit. And if he goes, if he goes to Detroit, now that means I've traded Shaq, who went on to win the NBA championship. We've lost in the first round 3 straight years, and now I'm trading Kobe Bryant to Detroit. I'm getting fired. I'm getting fired, no doubt about that. So he was like, let me do my job. And he took a chance. But what he was not doing, and he got lucky because Bryant said no. Right? Because Bryant said no. He basically said, whew, this deal with the Dallas Mavericks, right? This deal with the Dallas Mavericks, if it works, Nico looks like a genius because I am standing on the premise that winning cures everything. I've seen it happen way too many times. How many times I've seen, right? How many times I've seen people completely forget about this happening when a team wins. The Detroit Pistons in 2004, like they completely forget about who Rasheed Wallace was previous to that, like getting thrown out of games. He getting thrown out of a playoff game in the second quarter, leading the league in technical fouls. We forget all about that stuff. They win. Like that's what winning does. Winning gives people amnesia because that's all they care about. So with this deal, had it worked, and again, that's not to say that it's not going to work because it's still early in it and it looks bad right now. Yes, it does. It looks bad right now. If this thing works, if this thing works, I can promise you, everybody would have forgot about, Luka is gone, and yes, it was dumb, but we won. So it doesn't look nearly as bad. Not even close to being as bad. So with that being said, right? With that being said, he definitely is the fall guy because let's make sure we clear that let's make sure that we clear that if you are going to trade a guy like Luka, if you're gonna trade a guy like Luka, this thing better work. Oh, 100% it better work. No doubt. And he doesn't just do this just to do it. He's doing it going to management first. Remember who we talking about, right? We ain't just talking about, right? We ain't just talking about a dude that's just going all willy-nilly. No, we're talking about a dude who is doing this, and in the process of him doing this, he got to get the okay from the people upstairs. But I got to pause you real quick because I ain't talked to this dude in a minute. This is my man. I've been looking for him everywhere.
Hey, man.
I
Sit
ain't
down,
talked to
man.
this dude in a minute. This
Sit
is what I've
down,
been looking
man.
for.
You
What
already
is
know I'm
the
gonna
deal?
double back and get you, dog. You know I'm gonna come get you, man. You know where is Fluent at, man? You know I'm
He'll
gonna
be
come
here.
get you, man. Where Fluent at?
He'll
on
be here. He had to
vacation?
handle something. Yeah, he'll be here. He had to handle something. He'll be here in a little bit.
Yeah, man. They did Nico dirty, man. But to me it was J Kidd, man. To me,
You think it
it's
was
J
J
Kidd
Kidd?
written all over it. Yeah, because think about it. J Kidd set everything up from the Lakers. The coaching staff, him, Frank Vogel, what's the trainer's name? That was with the Lakers. Yeah, LeBron's trainer. The trainer that was with the Lakers.
Are you talking about Not Gary Vitti. He was already
Nah,
there.
they came over there. They came over there from. He was with Toronto for a while, but he was with LeBron in Cleveland. He was with LeBron.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Phil Handy.
Yeah, Phil Handy.
Yeah, they got Phil Handy over there. They got all that whole staff from the Lakers over there. Plus, you got AD over there now. You know what I'm saying, bro? That's got it written all over there. Then today they talking about Rich Paul got a close relationship with the owners from the team, man. Bro, man, this is all set up, man. This is all, you know what I'm saying, a part of what's going on, man. Listen, man, he is the fall guy, and J Kidd's the one who set it up, man. J Kidd's the one that called that shot, bro. J Kidd called the shot, man.
So I want to make sure I'm following you, Ticket. So we basically had a mole in house. And this is just the same Jason Kidd who said, yo, I didn't know nothing about this. Nobody told me about this. I didn't find out about this until you guys found out about this.
Man,
I didn't know nothing about this.
Bro, check it out. Nico, he ain't finna. You think J Kidd set up there and act like he knew nothing about this, bro? You think that Nico is gonna be able to pull a move off like that? And J Kidd is supposed to not have no approval, and there's no backlash right then, and J Kidd still go up there and sit down with him for that? Nah, man. Bro, J Kidd called the shot. J Kidd saw what it was, because remember, we already had this problem before J Kidd came in. With who? With Rick Carlisle. Rick Carlisle quit because they wouldn't get rid of Luka. See, they all mad at Nico for doing something that Rick Carlisle wanted to do. They didn't get mad at Rick Carlisle for this. Why didn't they have the same energy with Rick Carlisle when Rick Carlisle wanted to get rid of Luka? And you knew what happened. Rick Carlisle was so angry that at that time, Mark Cuban, who had the majority ownership of the team, he was so angry that Mark Cuban wouldn't get off of Luka because Mark loved and he basically attached himself to Luka, that he quit and went to Indiana.
He quit the job.
He quit. So that had to let you know Luka had to be moved for him to wake up and do all this stuff he's doing now. Because he wasn't in this type of shape in Dallas any year. You've seen him on photos drinking after the games. They said he was smoking cigarettes. That all the European cats be doing that stuff, man. Smoking hookah. Come on, man.
Smoking hookah.
Yeah, how you supposed to be in shape? How you supposed to be able? And then you getting torched in the NBA final. J Kidd went to them dudes and said, y'all finna pay this dude $300 million. This dude don't want to get in shape, because J Kidd knew what comes with that. Once you pay Luka $300, nothing J Kidd can tell him. And now J Kidd's job's in jeopardy, because guess what? The owner,
because Luka got all the money,
won a championship for Mark Cuban's out the way. So now,
got all the money.
Yeah, if Luka goes to the ownership and says, nah, J Kidd's not the guy, J Kidd's out of a job. And this is probably his last shot. J Kidd had to call his shot. He had to call a shot. And this shows you why they went directly with AD. Everybody said, why didn't they open up for the league? Because J Kidd wanted AD. That he kept talking about defense. J Kidd wanted AD for the defense. That they won the championship with the
real quick, Ticket. Real quick, Ticket. The whole thing, I think, was I think the whole thing was a plan orchestrated to probably get Nico up out of there. Now,
no, it wasn't. It wasn't to get Nico out of there, bro. The plan was to get Luka out of there, because Luka was the guy. Listen, J Kidd's he's going through the same things that the prior coach was going through. The coach he won a championship for. The coach had told him, hey, man, you need to watch out for this guy. This guy, you know what I'm saying, he's going to try and do whatever he wants to do. J Kidd found that out firsthand. But J Kidd didn't have enough heart to come out and say, hey, man, I called the shot. I didn't want Luka, because he knew the response was going to be from the Mavs fans. So they let Nico take the shot, bro. That's not right, man.
Now, I do think this, Ticket, and you may disagree with me with this. I do think that the reason why they didn't want to pay him, because they was looking at Luka in the long game. So Luka at 25, 26 years old, they looking at Luka at 30, 31 years old on the books for $65, $70 million. He already doesn't take care of his body. He already is injured. If we get this dude 5 years from now, what you see him doing in Los Angeles, where he lost weight, he got himself in better shape, he ain't doing that in Dallas.
That's what I'm saying to you. You're right. You 100% right. That's why J Kidd called that shot and went to the ownership. That's why J Kidd went to Nico in the ownership. And the other guy, the other dude agreed with J Kidd. The other dude that they're talking about now, but he was the one that agreed with J Kidd. And then they all was like, hey, man, he's got to be right. He got to know what he's talking about. He won a championship here. But the difference is, Mark Cuban would have never did that. Mark Cuban would have lost every coach he had over Luka Doncic. And in the end, he would have lost.
Mark Cuban said that, Ticket. He said
right, but hold on. But in the end, he would have lost, because ask yourself this question. Do you think Luka would have ever won a championship playing the way he played without playing no defense?
That's why Nico moved off of him. See, Ticket, right before you came on, this is what I said. I can't believe I got to get some smoke for Ticket. This on some level, I got to get some because I can't believe me and Ticket agreeing. So on the one hand, you got ownership. They don't want to pay that $350, right? They don't want to pay that.
No, they didn't want to pay it because of what he was doing. See, Chilltown, this is the part that destroyed me. They not talking about all the stuff he was doing behind the scenes.
That's what I'm
See,
saying.
they not talking about all the stuff Luka was doing behind the scenes. See, if that was brought to light, see, you seeing the rehabilitated Luka Doncic right now. They
Right.
not talking about all the stuff he was doing, the smoking the hookahs, the drinking beer, getting drunk after every game, smoking
Not
the
taking
cigarettes
care
and
of
stuff. They didn't talk about it. They didn't put all that out there.
Not taking care of himself.
See, what you call it? Saw this. What's the coach over
Jason
there for
Kidd
Indiana?
Jason Kidd, Rick Carlisle saw it.
Rick
Jason
Carlisle
Kidd
saw it. Why does everybody think Rick Carlisle was hell bent on getting rid of Luka, bro?
The reason why is because he didn't think he was dedicated. That's why.
Come on,
he didn't
bro.
think he was dedicated to himself.
Then he goes to Indiana, goes to the Eastern Conference Finals, and the next year he's in the NBA Finals, 1 game away from winning the chip, bro.
He clearly knew what he was talking about. This is what I mean, Ticket. So on the one hand, I got the ownership. They don't want to pay him, and I understand why they don't want to pay him because they're thinking about the long game. Nico looking at Nico because he's there every day. He see what it is with Luka. We ain't winning with this dude. We're not winning with him. Now, these two things basically come together, right? These two things basically come together. One person thinks this one way, and I think management also saw Luka for that too. I think management also saw Luka and was like, yo, we ain't winning with him neither. Nico is thinking the same thing that management is thinking where, yo, we don't want to pay this dude. So both of these things are coming together. But what we can't do, because Mark Cuban said it. Mark Cuban said, you don't trade the 26-year-old superstar for the 32-year-old aging big man that's still good, but that's not why they traded him. They traded him because Nico saw the short game.
But hold on, AD wasn't. Hold on, AD. They wasn't saying that in LA. They were saying AD's supposed to be the man. He was putting up monster numbers. The only problem with AD is that he was always getting hurt. I mean, because AD gave you the best of both worlds. AD's going to give it to you offensively and defensively. The only thing with AD is we've always talked about this shit, town. He's going to get hurt. That's the only thing. So when you're talking about, oh, here we go, here we go now. The business is about to pick up right now. This is my guy right here. Business is about to pick up immediately. What's going on, man?
What's up, Ticket?
Man, hey, for one time in a lifetime, me and Chilltown agree on something.
Oh, let me disagree with it. What is it?
Oh no, we both agree that Nico Nico got did dirty in this situation.
Yeah, Nico got the job. Nico got jobbed in this. No question about it. He got
100%. He was
Nico got jobbed in this.
He was, I don't know what you've said already. He was the scapegoat.
And just to be
clear, ownership wanted Luka gone. J Kidd wanted Luka gone. They both got what they wanted.
See, that's where the divide is with y'all two and me. I didn't think it was Jason Kidd. I didn't think he had
it was J Kidd, bro. It has to be J Kidd. He has to have involvement in that. Fluent knows this, bro. He was that vocal. Doesn't happen if he says
he was vocal about him wanting more defense and his frustration with Luka not playing defense. He was vocal about that. That's why I say he knew. He knew.
Right. So with him knowing, Tone, right? With him knowing, because again, this isn't a deal that you do just out the blue. I don't think this is something that just happens like right from the beginning. No, I don't think that at all. I think this is something that happens over the course of time. But when it actually goes down, does Jason Kidd not know about this deal?
No, J Kidd is the one who called the shot, which is why everybody asked. Oh, my bad, Fluent.
No. You're saying the same thing I'm going to say.
No, I'm saying Fluent. Everybody asked Fluent. Why didn't they open up the whole market and see what they could get for Luka? Because it was J Kidd. J Kidd was trying to recreate what they had in the Lakers and they won with the Lakers in Dallas. That's why he brought Frank Vogel over there with the defense. That's why he has Phil Handy over there working on the staff. This is the reason why he went and told them he wanted AD. He told them, I want AD. That's why they didn't open up the market, because it would have been everybody in the league would have been throwing everything at you. He wanted AD. That's how you know for sure that J Kidd is the one that called that shot. Because there's no way that they say, hey, man, we're not going to pay Luka. They don't open this whole thing up unless J Kidd says, hey, I'm targeting this guy right here. And why did J Kidd do it? Because they won a championship in LA like that. That's why he has Frank Vogel over there on the staff. That's why he has Phil Handy on the staff. That's why he wanted to bring over AD to try to solidify that rim protection and get offense out of a guy. He didn't think what he thought was is that Kyrie was going to be okay. See, they didn't foresee Kyrie getting hurt like that last year.
Just threw a monkey wrench in everything.
That threw a monkey wrench in everything.
Let's talk about that real quick, because I will die on this hill. If this team is healthy, I've been fighting with some dude who talks about anime on Twitter, which shame on me for getting into conversation with some dude that talks about anime. And he's like, your prediction was wrong. You said they had just as good a chance of making the finals with and without Luka. I said, yeah, if this team is healthy with Kyrie, with Cooper Flag, who's not having to be, we'll get to that in a second, with Kyrie, with AD, with Lively, with Gafford, with Washington, you look at that lineup, top to bottom, healthy, you're telling me that's not a contending team in the West?
Fluent, you dead on. And bro, Fluent, what are they going to say if Kyrie comes back and AD come back and they finish the season, they make a run in the playoffs? You prematurely fired the guy, and they make it seem like Nico made all these bad moves. He went and got Kyrie. He went and got all those other pieces that helped you get to the NBA Finals. How is he so bad when he made all those deals?
Nico made one move. Sorry, Chill. Nico made one move that people disagree with because you gave up a 25-year-old superstar, all-time great, going to be top 3 in the league in Luka. I get that. But when you think about what came back in return and what the roster looks like, Jason Kidd, no one's saying anything except you guys. Jason Kidd wanted a defensive-minded team because he said, I needed to change my style and play. How many times? Go back and listen to him during timeouts. We got to play at Luka's pace. And if you look at the pace from the year before, when they were 38 and 49 or whatever the hell their record was, to the next year when they win 50-something games and go to the NBA final, go look at their pace. It goes from bottom of the NBA to top 5, 6 in the NBA because they played it Luka style. But that's not how he wants to play. And then when we fast forward to this year, Lively's been hurt. Gafford's been hurt. AD's been hurt. We haven't had Kyrie. And look what he's doing again. And people are going to fight me on this one too. He's making Cooper Flag play the point, which is the same shit he tried to do with Giannis. And when did Giannis get good? When they moved him off the point.
That's fact.
As much as they want to say Jason Kidd helped develop Giannis, did he? Or did he?
Did.
Or did he?
No, I don't know.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. I mean, Giannis literally just said it. Giannis literally just said it. I think it was yesterday.
He said Giannis is better at the point.
No, I think Giannis was a better ball handler, and I think Giannis was a better wing because of Jason Kidd. But I think the problem that we have, Tone, is that when we see a guy that exhibits guard skills, we automatically say, well, he can't do this. Well, I understand why he put him at the point. I understand why he put Cooper Flag at the point because, I mean, 6'9", handle basketball. He can pass.
Hold on.
It does make sense.
Why he put an 18-year-old rookie?
Yeah, it does make sense.
Hold on. You understand why he put an 18-year-old rookie with 0 NBA experience who's unproven at the point of a team that had championship aspirations? No, I can't agree with that.
Me neither. I can't agree with that either, Chilltown. You sound utterly ridiculous. And this is the reason why I need to come back and cook you on a regular basis. Because I'm tired of hearing Fluent cook you all the time. Let me say something to you, dog. You're sick in the brain, man. J Kidd is the reason why this is all going down, bro. J Kidd, his bad coaching, because if he would have just coached decent and it would have been 500 until Kyrie came back, bro, Nico would have still at least had his job. The fact that they've had a home favorable schedule, played one of the weakest schedules so far in the league, and guess what, Chill? They played all those home games. They got 6 of the next 7 games at home.
They're top, even with the injuries, they're a top 5 defensive rated team. But guess what they haven't done, which is why they're losing games. They haven't slowed down the pace. They're still playing at a top 10 pace without the top 10 offensive guy in Luka. You can't do that. If you're going to be a defensive team, you need to slow the pace down. You can't play fast and expect to be defensive. Not in the NBA.
Facts, man.
Well, that's not true, Ticket. I mean, that's not true, Tone, because Miami is I think Miami is number 1 in the league in pace right now, and they right outside the top 5 in defense. So I'm not trying to hit it.
No, but that's different.
They don't play fast.
It's not. No, are they your best offensive player?
What's his name? Bam didn't even play last night. They scored 100 and almost 30 points, Tone.
Yes, but they have. My point is, you can't play at Luka's pace and then remove Luka and still try to play at his pace and score as much. They don't have scorers. Miami has multiple Norman Powell that can score. Has I'm going to forget Wiggins. Wiggins. They've got multiple scorers, so they can keep that pace up because they have guys who can score. This is a team that's trying to play fast and they're defensive, but they're not offensive. Who's a great offensive player on that team, with the exception of maybe Anthony Davis?
And then you put an
Right
unexperienced rookie on the point.
Right now, there's nobody.
That's the difference.
But the difference. But here's the thing, though. With Miami, I mean, who's a great offensive player on there? Jaime Jaquez?
No,
they
but
don't have Tyler Hero.
No, but they have 4 or 5.
They don't have Tyler Hero. Norman Powell's a rotation player, Tone.
What?
Norman Powell's a rotation player.
Norman Powell was an all-star last. He should have been an all-star last year.
He should have been an all-star, but he was a rotation player.
Hey, hold on. Norman Powell might make the all-star team this year if Miami keeps
will make the all-star team this year. He will make the all-star team this year.
So when you talk about rotation player, that's an all-star, bro.
All I'm saying is
rotation players don't make the all-star team, Tone. I mean, Ticket, what are you talking about?
Not they don't make like he should have made the last 2 years. Rotational players don't make multiple all-star games or should make multiple.
He was a rotation player last year. What are you talking about?
No. He was a starter last year.
So last year when they had Kawhi Leonard came back.
He was a starter.
Yeah, Powell was starting.
He was starter. He was a starter that should have been an all-star last year. And he should be an all-star this year, Chilltown.
No, he's going to make the all-star team.
Everybody to be like LeBron James. Everybody.
He's going to make the all-star team. I think he's going to make the all-star team. No,
I'm saying Cooper Flag. Everybody cannot come in the league and just run the point like that. They torpedoed that team when he put Cooper Flag at the point. You know why? Because it made Klay worse than what he is, playing with a guy who doesn't know how to play point. It made all the other guys worse than what they are because you have a guy that's inexperienced. You're trying to get him to learn on the job how to run the point when you had an experienced point guard on your team in D'Angelo Russell. Just use him, play him at the point. That way he understands how to at least run an NBA offense. You can always play Cooper Flag at the wing. Cooper Flag, hold on. He just showed you last night he's going to get his numbers on the wing or not. He had 26, 9, and 4 last night. So
right, and you also saw him. I think he was 22 and 8 when he was playing a point guard. He was doing that too. Ticket. Let's not make it look like he wasn't doing that. He's doing that too.
He's gonna get better. He's gonna get better. But just for the record, Norman Powell last year on the Clippers played 60 games, started 60 games.
Okay.
Man, this guy's crazy, man. I don't know what's going on with Chilltown, man.
Before that, he was a rotation guy. And
yes, yeah. He's a
rotation guy. Absolutely. This year, if Tyler Hero was healthy, he would have been in the rotation because it would have been Davion Mitchell, Tyler Hero, Andrew Wiggins, Bam, and Khalil Ware. That's their 5.
That's some
you sad, man. You sad, bro.
That's their 5.
And then think about it.
That's not my opinion. Like you say, these is facts. What you talking about?
Fluent. This dude is sad. Hey, Fluent. I don't know how you deal with this guy every week. This guy is sad.
I'm going up what you said.
This man, we've seen what we're seeing with Cooper Flag at the point. They're one of the worst teams in the league with him at the point. And you still in here. Nico has lost his job because of this. Because of J Kidd's bad coaching.
Nico, hold on. Let's be clear. Hold on. That's not totally wrong. If they know your best.
I already know how you feel about Jason Kidd anyway, so I already know how you feel about
Jason Kidd shouldn't be a head coach in the NBA.
Yeah, I already know how you feel about him.
So do you want to blame the general manager for the 3-7 start? Give me another team that hasn't had 3 or 4 of their top players play half the season, and they're 3-7. And they're blaming the general manager. Are the
Fluent, add this on to this clown, Fluent, because I'm gonna call him a clown. I'm gonna call him a clown for this Fluent. All he missing is the red nose and the big red shoes because he's the clown. Fluent. This is what else that embarrasses J Kidd's decisions. Bro, I was cooking the Atlanta Hawks head coach, Quinn Snyder. But when Trae Young got hurt, look what he's done with that team. Bro, there's no excuse. If he can do that with the Atlanta Hawks, which they were dead in the water. Now they're a game over 500, bro. If you can do that with that roster he has, bro, J Kidd has no excuse not to be 500 with all them home games they had to start the season, bro. There's no excuse, Chilltown. None.
They're a game out the 2 spot. Atlanta is 1 game out the 2 spot.
J Kidd is super smart. It was all a power play from day one. The ownership wanted to get rid of Luka. I think we can all agree on that. Okay, they all wanted to get rid of Luka. J Kidd wanted to get
rid of him more than they didn't want to pay him. And they put
J Kidd wanted him out, bro. Listen, let me tell you, and Fluent's right, bro. Bro, if you got a guy, if you got a guy that already doesn't want to listen, Rick Carlisle quit because this guy wouldn't listen. Let's think about that. He quit. Then check this out, Chilltown. Then if you're J Kidd, now you see 2 things. You don't have the blanket of Mark Cuban owning the team and saying, "Hey, I like both of you guys. Your job is safe." You got a whole different ownership now. So now you got to call your shot when you got a chance, because if you don't, and they pay Luka $300 million, guess what? Who's going first, Chilltown?
You want to make?
I can tell you who ain't going, and that's Luka. Luka ain't going.
You want to make a bet? You want to make a bet that now that they used Nico as the scapegoat, KIDD is now going to have people that are, because I don't know if you saw who they're tagging as the guys that are going to come in as head of basketball operations, all former players. KIDD's going to get a bump in title, if not a bump in say. And watch how he slows down the pace of the game, focuses on what they do well, which is play defense, and they start winning games. And you think miraculously the team got better, the roster got better, because Nico got fired? No, it doesn't change anything about the team. But watch how he's going to coach differently. Watch the last 3 games and watch the next 3 games. You're going to see a different rotation. You're going to see different schemes, and this team's going to start winning games. Everyone's going to be like, "Oh, yep, there you go. Got rid of Nico. Yep, okay." That's not what happened. He used that dude and got him fired. Now, the only thing I can hope is that Nico goes back and gets a job at Nike and starts selling some of those.
Fluent. You know what would be diabolical?
Don't be a stranger, man.
Hold on. You know what would be diabolical, Fluent? If Nico went to the Lakers.
No, they won't get rid of Rob Pelinka. Rob Pelinka got him Luka.
I'm saying that if he went to work with Rob Pelinka, they found a role for him over there with the Lakers. Oh my God, bro. That would be crazy. Chilltown. I'm gonna tell you guys something. I don't know how y'all feel about this, bro. The way KIDD has been coaching, I was really trying to think, bro, is this dude in on this gambling stuff, bro? There's no way, bro. He's making it, bro. I'm serious about this, man. With all this stuff that we're seeing going on now, Chilltown, I'm serious about that, bro. I'm starting to question all these dudes, bro, that's out here doing funny stuff. I'm questioning everybody, bro. Funny coach Tyronn Lue. You keep playing all these 4-guard lineups and getting beat every single night, but now finally you want to change it after you keep getting destroyed every night. Like I said before, bro, I'm looking at all these cats different, man.
I don't blame you, Ticket. Hey, Ticket, don't be a stranger, man. Stop acting like you don't know me, yo. Stop acting like you don't know me. When you see me, yo, come through.
Ticket changed his number. Didn't even give me his new number.
I didn't change my number. I lost my phone in a Uber.
Oh, okay.
I lost my other phone in an Uber, so I had to get a whole new number. But I still catch y'all on here. But I'm gonna let y'all go ahead with the show, man. I'm gonna tip on out.
I appreciate you, brother.
Like you don't know me, my dude. Man. Stop acting like you don't know me, my dude. Come through when you see me. I'll see you later, yo.
All right, man.
Yes, sir. I always got time for you. Absolutely. I was going on.
Take it.
As you guys know,
I miss Ticket.
You guys been listening. That's him right there. That's me.
I do apologize for everything. Today's been a day and a half. I don't even know what you covered, what you didn't cover. So what I want to do,
I was talking about
if everyone will indulge me, what I'm going to do is we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 14 topics, maybe 16 that we said we were going to cover, but we got 35 minutes. So we're going to rapid fire through the topics. Are you ready? You should take a deep breath. You need to hold on.
I never thought about
what?
I never thought about Jason Kidd being a part of this, Tone. Jason Kidd never crossed my mind ever. Not one time did Jason Kidd cross my mind. I do get the logic about Rick Carlisle quitting because, he just wasn't feeling the whole Luka thing. I never thought about Jason Kidd. Never. Not one. At no point did I ever think that Jason Kidd had anything to do with this.
100%. So here, let's get ready. Take a deep breath because we're going to go through a bunch of these quick. All right.
Hey, you know what? I've got this water. We've got this red version. We got a red bottle, and we got a David Beckham version here. And we got a blue version.
Blue version over there. Yeah. All right, here we go. I don't even know what's coming up. I'm literally just going through the list, one thing at a time. I'm just randomly. I'm picking it, and we're. Well, we started with a good one. Tyrese Maxey, the mentor. VJ Edgecombe, the mentee.
Mm-hmm.
These two look like they are on their way. Some people would say they already are to being the best backcourt in the NBA. Is that fair or foul?
I think it's definitely fair. You definitely got your backcourt of the future, which would explain why I already said to get off of Joel Embiid, and we building our unit around these two dudes. And they actually, it's not many guys that I've seen that click immediately. And these two guys, it just works immediately with these two guys. And not only does it work, Tone, I don't know if you know this, but I think Tyrese Maxey leads the league in minutes. VJ Edscombe is second in the league in minutes. So they both play, they both are basically right behind each other in terms of play time. So they're on the floor together. So as much as they're on the floor together, there's no way that this thing couldn't be better because as much time as they're going to get together. I love everything about this. No doubt about it.
Well, you know who their coach is, right?
Mm-hmm. Who you love, by the way.
Yeah. He's of that Tom Thibodeau, I play him till they die. So that might be the only thing that'll hold them
Is
back.
he? I never thought that Nick Nurse was that type of dude.
What? Go
running guys into the ground.
Go look at the minutes when he had Kyle Lowry, et cetera, et cetera. All of those guys were Pascal Siakam. They were all right at the top, if not at the top of minutes per game.
I got to go do some homework on. I got to go do some homework on
that.
I don't remember.
They'll kill him.
I don't remember being that high.
Speaking of the Dallas Mavericks, sources say they're looking to trade Anthony Davis. They really want to tank. They want to move to Vegas. You think there's any validity in them shopping AD? And at this point, would there be any takers?
Not right now. There won't be. I don't think so, because I think that you basically are giving me your problem. That's a bigger problem than I need to take on. But my man Tony Tone has told me for years, when you fail
fast.
You screwed it up. Okay, if we got this wrong, right? If we got this wrong, we got to fix it now. Like, we don't have 2 or 3 years to fix this. If we got this wrong, we got to fix it right now. And I would like to see, to be honest with you, me personally, I still would like to see what this group looked like, because I didn't see what they looked like last year. They just got Anthony Davis, and he only played, I think, 16 games for them last year. Kyrie Irving had gotten hurt. So I don't even know what this group looks like right now. I'd like to see what it looks like first before we dump it. But if we're going to dump it, now's the time to do it. I'm basically going to get 20 cents on the dollar for what I did.
When you say fail, listen, in business, when we say fail fast, that's fail like after you do have to give it a fair shot. And I don't think this team, like I said, if you think about it, all these names I'm going to mention should be starters, right? Kyrie, AD, Gafford, and Lively. Maybe not Gafford, Lively. Maybe. Well, no, I think they do start them sometimes at the 4 or 5.
Lively starts at the 5. Anthony Davis starts at the 4.
Gafford comes off the bench. So there's still 4 integral pieces that have not played one game together.
Correct.
This season. So if now health is part of it. If you just see for the next, listen, they're not going to be healthy by All-Star break. We're still not going to see all of these guys together. Then okay, then you gotta look.
But here's my question, Tone. With Anthony Davis, I mean, it's obvious that the dude can play, because before he went down with that injury, he was averaging like 25.
Oh yeah, right? He was having his best season since the bubble.
Yeah, he was averaging like 25, 13, and 25, like 12, and 2 blocks. He was doing work, right? He was doing work. And I understand how you guys feel about the Cooper Flag thing. I get that part. But Anthony Davis can obviously play. No doubt about that.
I really don't like Cooper Flag at the point, for the simple fact that I get, Jason Kidd's mentality, because he's a point guard and he feels that's where everyone needs to learn how to play, because then they can ball handle, they can facilitate. Like, I get that's his philosophy. I just disagree with it. I think if you have, now I get it, D'Lo's your other guard, but you can go out and get a veteran guy and say, hey, I need you to get Cooper Flag some easy buckets. I need you to, get him out in transition, because he's very athletic and he would be phenomenal in transition. If you've seen when he's had success, he's been out in transition. Listen, at this point in his career, Clay is not that. Clay is a pull-up, one dribble, that's it. So you need to penetrate.
He's a catch-and-shoot guy.
He's a catch-and-shoot guy.
Yes, he is.
You need to get him some opportunities. That's what this team should be looking to do. And who knows? Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. We'll see. Oof. Did they bring Jalen back too soon?
Yeah, I think so, Tone. I think that this Phoenix team. I mean, I think they had to justify moving off of KD. I don't think that when you're dealing with a hamstring is something to play with. And you might think that you can go, and with thinking that you can go, you might push yourself a little bit too far. Don't get me wrong, Tony. He did have some say-so in this. This isn't something where, management pushed him out there. No, he did have some say-so in this. So I think it's culpability on both parts. I think that Phoenix, they might have moved too soon, and I think that he was itching to get out there to show that the reason why y'all traded me, this is what I want to show you guys, and this is what I want everybody to see, only to find out, only to find out that he probably could have stood to sit a couple of more weeks. And now what's ultimately happened is he got set back another month. Because again, he's not coming back in 4 to 6 weeks, Tony. He's getting reevaluated in 4 to 6 weeks. This could be another
long
2 months.
Long term, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this could be another 2 months. So a hamstring is enough. Hamstrings aren't anything that hamstrings. Anytime you're talking about tendons, anytime you're talking about ligaments, they're nothing to play with.
I'm starting to think everybody should, whenever they say, okay, you're ready to come back, give it another month and just do your own private workouts, 5-on-5s. You know what I mean? Just don't because every time someone comes back and it's like, wow, look how quick they came back, almost always hurt again. And then it sets them back. I'd rather play it safe. There's too much money invested in these guys not to.
Way too much.
No surprise. The Queens are blowing it up again because that's what Queens do. They blow. Sorry, Ox. Levine's on the block, Sabonis on the block, DeRozan on the block, Jenny's on the block. Team should be on the block. And Sacramento looking to blow it up and start over. What would you do?
Well, Tone, I don't. When they moved off of De'Aaron Fox, that's when it was the beginning of the end. Because this team actually did have a plan, and it was working, right? It was working when they ended up going to the playoffs, and they ended up losing. De'Aaron Fox got hurt, broke his hand. He had a ligament issue. Then they come back the next year, and then they have some underwhelming, right? They have some underwhelming performances from a lot of these dudes. And then they really didn't upgrade the roster to bring in, to Ox's point, and I think he was 100% right about this, to bring in DeMar DeRozan and completely change the offense, which stifled Keegan Murray's development, because Keegan Murray was actually developing pretty well. But then to bring in DeMar DeRozan and take the ball out of guys like Keegan Murray's hands and start running the offense more through DeRozan kind of screwed them up. And then on top of that, DeRozan gets hurt, DeRozan, in addition to DeRozan getting hurt, you move off of De'Aaron Fox and you trade him. Now this is the beginning of the end. This kid Carter didn't really turn out to be what you thought he was going to be. You missed on him. I don't think that he's going to be good. Keegan Murray, you set him back. So now we in a space with this Sacramento team where you don't have a point guard. Your two wings in both Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. It's not working out. Sabonis is basically wasting away up there. I think the best years of the Sacramento Kings, I think we missed our opportunity. So blow the whole thing up. I hate that idea, but
blow it up. DeRozan and LaVine don't work. We saw it in Chicago. It's like we know.
The reason why it didn't work, Tony, is because LaMelo Ball got hurt. That's why. Lonzo got hurt. If Lonzo doesn't get hurt, this thing works. And if De'Aaron Fox,
as they say, you said the wrong nut.
If De'Aaron Fox doesn't get moved and you don't take the ball out of the point guard's hands and put it in DeMar DeRozan's hands, I think this is a different group. I do. I think this is a completely different group.
Yeah,
but that's not what they.
Hey, listen, Charlotte, you better make your move to sign me up as the new GM because Sacramento's going to come calling. How did, just quickly, this is not on the agenda, but I'm just these guys want us to talk NFL.
I know.
I don't know.
You complain. I know this is.
Oh, sorry, you didn't read it. My bad. He said, "I don't mean to complain. I know this is mostly an NBA channel, but honestly, who cares about basketball this early into the season? This is the meat and potatoes." Oh, you used your own line of the NFL season.
Who cares about basketball? We do. That's why we talk basketball around here.
100% care about basketball, but I do care about the NFL. And you know what? Tune in next week because I will not be dealing with what I dealt with this week. I hope, and we will definitely set aside some time for NFL because we do love talking some NFL as well.
Isolop, whatever your name is. Isolop, whatever your name is. Just so you know, they got a. It's called the Press Box. It's on Wednesday nights on Players Choice. Come check them out. They talk pro football over there. Yes, they do.
Yeah. There's also From the Sideline. That's
Yes.
Sunday nights right here on Sports Fluent Network. So there's
Talk to my
lots
man,
of
Tony
football to
Tom.
go around.
Talk
I'm
to my
not
man,
on
Tony
it.
Tom.
I'm not on it. I'm not on it. But we have a good panel of people who know their football.
Yes,
Where
sir.
were we? We were here. What a night in the NBA.
Tony, I'm in the Matrix, man. I am.
I thought everybody was like, Donovan Mitchell, wow, what an incredible shot to send it into overtime. Yeah, no, didn't matter.
No,
Andrew
we're not
Wiggins
done.
had other plans. I watched that play in slow motion. I actually recorded it on my phone because I happened to be watching that game live, and I recorded it and I was like, damn. And I posted it on TikTok. I was like, I can't believe what I just watched. But Wemby, Desmond Bane, if you don't love the NBA and what's going on right now, you crazy.
You bugging out, yo. Like I said, Tony, I'm watching the San Antonio Spurs draw up a play for a dude that's 7.5 feet tall, 30 feet away from the basket to go one-on-one, and he's cracking threes to go ahead in the game. That's what's going on, Tone. That's where I live today. I'm living in a space where that kind of stuff is going on. I'm living in a space where the Miami Heat are scoring. The Miami Heat are scoring 130 and 135. That's what's going on. I never thought I'd be living in a place where the Miami Heat is scoring 135. Tone, 25 a game is nothing today. Like, people are telling me that 25 a game is no big deal. Like, you averaging 25 a game, that's it? That's all you averaging? Like, you're a good player if you're averaging 25 a game. What the hell? What's happening? 25
a game today is 15 of the 15 a game in the 90s, and then we'll get into debates about which era is better. But I'll tell you right now, I'm living in an era that I love to watch. The basketball's good. The basketball's exciting. And unfortunately, for those people who invested all of their life and money and fandom into one player, you're about to be really sadly disappointed. Because this is why I tell you, one team, one voice. Love that one team, because the players will come and go. Your player will not play forever, but your team, in most cases, will last a much, much longer time.
That's why this dude is a Laker fan. He's been down with the Lakers.
I don't care. Listen, you're on the Lakers. I love you. You're not on the Lakers. I hate you. Period. That's it. It's easy. It's clean, simple. And speaking of, this is kind of part 2 of that last picture. Wemby hits the 3 on the Bulls. Okay, we need to talk about KIDD.
Yes, we do.
46 points on 45 shots, but like he went 14 of 45.
Yes. Tony, he's not.
I tried to do the math in my head. Fluent Jr. and I were talking about this in the car, and I'm like, I can't. The math ain't math, and I don't even know how he did this, because it was just like it didn't make sense. That being said, we'll get to that. I want to talk about that one. Bane's game winner, overtime Heat and Cavs. Mavs lose on a flop by Cooper Flag, trying to get a foul call. That was horrible. Grayson Allen goes for 42. Like, this is what the hell? But let's start with KIDD. Let's start with KIDD, because the math ain't mathing on that scorecard.
Well, one of the major problems, especially shooting under 20% at the long ball line, shooting barely 30% at the floor, like, how the hell did he get 46? Well, he did, shoot 18 free throws and he only missed 2 of them. So that's 16 from the stripe that he got, right? So in addition to okay, so let's discuss that, right? So the 16 that he got from the stripe, so then he got 6 more at the long ball line, so that's 22. Okay, so now now how much more do I need? I need 24 more points. Well, it came from the floor, right? It came from the floor because I did make 14 shots. So there you have it, right there.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Not today, but at any point in your life, if you were given 46 shots, could you score that at not 46, 45 shots and 18? So a combination of approximately 65 attempts from the floor and the field. Could you score 45?
I scored 32 on 14 shots. Yes, I did. I scored my freshman year of college. I had 14. I scored 32 points. I went 12 for 14 from the floor. I went 12 for 14 from the floor, and I went 8 for 8 from the stripe. Yes, sir.
Not my highest scoring game, not my best game, but the most ridiculous stat line I've ever had. 30 points, 10 shots.
And they always all from the long ball line. Swing it.
Every single one. 0 for 0, 0 for 0, 0 for 0 from the free throw line. And I want to tell you, 8 of the 10 were in the corner.
Speaking of in the corner,
ran to the corner, and they left me open. Thanks.
Speaking of in the corner, Tone, Oklahoma City got Golden State in the corner, putting a pounding on them. They up 25 right now. I just want to put that on your mind. But anyway, as you were saying,
well, that's a much better team.
Yes, no doubt about it. Mm-hmm.
Austin Reeves of my Lakers, speaking of teams I love, is not obsessed over earning every dollar possible on his next deal and wants to spend his entire NBA career with the Lakers.
See, Tone, I don't love this. And the reason why I don't love this, I know these are your boys. Okay, let's okay, ladies and gentlemen.
Something to be a Laker. I think that's I love this, but keep going.
And I do get that part that these are your boys, but when you can't play no more, you can't play no more. So you got to get everything that you possibly can. Excuse me. And with that being said, with this kind of logic, Austin Reeves, like Dwayne Wade when he was in Miami, is under the impression that when we get to that third deal, because we already on the second deal, when we get to the third deal, okay, I'm not gonna take all the bread, but after this deal, they're gonna take care of me, only to find out that you're gonna find yourself on the outside looking in, and then you left some money on the table that you could have maximized that I'm not ever gonna get back. So that kind of stuff I get nervous about.
Do you feel that his life will be grossly impacted if he, instead of taking a $30 million deal to live in LA, where presumably he loves to live because it's a wonderful, having lived there, it's a great place to live.
Especially if you got money.
If you have money.
Got bread.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. If you have money versus going to, no offense, Minnesota for $40 million or Milwaukee for $40 million. Do you think his life will be better or worse with that extra $10 million a season?
It depends.
He's going to make 30 a season at least.
It depends on what his quality of life is. And I'm not leaving money on the table, Tone. I'm just not, because I'm not sure that I'm going to get that bread back. I'm not. That's the situation that we're in right now. With
he doesn't want. But is your life going to be different if you're making 30 or 40?
Oh, we still live in the same neighborhood. I mean, that's a very direct question, to be honest with you.
And
still in the same neighborhood.
Do you believe in LA he can make a $10 million endorsement deal more than he could in Milwaukee?
Well, $30 million in $30 million, $40 million, $30 million in Los Angeles and $40 million in Milwaukee are different. Those two things.
I completely understand that, but could he not make up the difference?
Possibly. He possibly could make that.
That's
not. But those deals are gonna be there anyway, though, Tone.
Would you rather be a superstar in LA or a superstar in Milwaukee? And again, I'm not picking on Milwaukee. It can be Minnesota. It can be Toronto. It can be any other city. Charlotte. Where would you rather be a superstar? Especially playing basketball. I'd rather be in LA. Heck, I'd rather Boston. I'd rather be in one of the New York.
But not everybody wants to play in.
But he does.
But he does. But he clearly does. Yes, he does. But that's a very direct question. So the question that you're asking, would you rather live in Los Angeles? Would you rather live in Milwaukee? I would rather live where it's nice. I'm not going to argue that.
Exactly.
Would I rather be a superstar? I mean, these are rhetorical questions. So yes, Stone. Yes, I'd much rather live in Los Angeles and be a superstar making bread in Los Angeles than I would in Milwaukee.
We will drop the link in 2 minutes. That being said, I just had this conversation with Mrs. Fluent because there's a huge free agent, Toronto Blue Jay, Bo Bichette. And the Dodgers, after what he did to the Dodgers in the World Series, are coming after him hard. And it's like, well, he's grown up basically his whole MLB career in Toronto. And the Dodgers, as you know, will pay more. And it's like, well, where do you want to live? Do you want to live where you say, I love this town, I love this city, I love this team? We're all, we're 26 best friends, or go somewhere new where you have no idea. I don't know. So it's, the money matters. Get yours. I would never say take less, but if it means being where you want to be, do you think Damian Lillard had if he had the option, would have taken less money to go to Miami than go to Milwaukee? And I know his was traded. It's a different scenario, but knowing what you know about him, do you think he would have taken less money to go to Miami? If that was he was a free agent.
Of course he would. Of course he would have went to Miami as opposed to, going to Milwaukee. But I don't think he would have. I don't think he wanted to ever leave Portland. No.
Well, that's why he's back. Sticking with my Lakers, and we got Luka Don, the real big three. Luka, 43 and 12, 49 and 11, 44 and 12, 29 and 11. Luka, now he's dropped from 40 points per game to 37. But Luka's having a season. Look at these numbers, and 63%, 61. Like, he's had 5 steals in a game. This fat lazy dude who can't play defense.
He had a quiet 38 last night too, by the way, Tone. Like, it was a real subtle
38.
That sounds nuts, right? That you can have a quiet almost 40. Yeah, he had a real subtle 38 last night, and I know it was against Charlotte, but it was real, just chill. It was just a real run of the mill 38 points, and he really didn't do much to just blow people away. He just did Luka stuff. I still think he's the best scorer in the game. I'm still standing on that. I think that he's gotten back to that space right now, and because I feel like he's gotten back to that space, I think that this could continue. The Lakers are a lot better than what I thought that they were going to be. I did not think that they were going to be this good. That's why I didn't think that Luka could win the league MVP. But I think that they're, if I'm not mistaken, I think they're the number 2 seed right now in the Western Conference. So if they're not the number 2 seed, they got to be close to it, right? So, and that's largely due to Luka. So, I mean, when they get James back, they're going to be. I think that they're going to be even better. They're actually the 4 seed, right? So they're the 4 seed. They're a half a game out the 2 spot. That's where they are right now.
Hey,
they're
you
half
just,
a game out the 2
just
spot.
keep doing those daily Giannis posts so that the voters hear you and vote Giannis as MVP. Since
I'm gonna do that all season long. Absolutely. As long as Giannis keeps doing it, I'm gonna make sure that everybody knows that Giannis Antetokounmpo is amazing.
He's making my prediction look real good.
Yes, I'm doing that every day.
Not only did Wemby have 38 points, 18 of them in the fourth quarter, to your point of calling up a play for a 7'4", just from, like you said, 30 feet away to pull up and hit a 3 for the game winner. But he also was 18 in the fourth quarter. Like, this dude is unreal. Are we witnessing, like, right before our eyes, the next one?
Tone, I really hope this kid can hold up, man. I really do. I hope that the thing that I'm worried about is this kid going to give me, am I going to get 10 years out of him? Because you know as well as I do, the body type of a guy like that, being that big, being that tall, like the shelf life on guys like that is not that long, right? So a guy at 7'5", if I could get 10 years out of him, and you fought me on this years ago, and I'm still standing on it.
I'll still fight you on it.
I think that this is what the league is about to look like in the next 10, 15 years. This is that kind of skill set, big guys, 6'10" to 7'4", 7'5". That's what the NBA is going to look like. That's what I think.
I will tell you the same thing that I said to you before, and the reason why I fight you on that is I just don't think it's humanly possible to get that many guys that tall, that skilled. And let me give you a stat that I think portrays that. To this day, the odds of making the NBA, okay, you have better odds being struck by lightning twice.
Not once.
Not once. You have better odds of being struck by lightning twice than making the NBA. Unless you are 7 foot or taller, then the odds are 1 in 10. So we already have one. So just think about it. It's 1 in a million for everybody else. We already have 1 in 10 7+ footers in the NBA. How many more can we get? Like 10%. 10% of any population making any pro sport is insane. That's my concern.
I know that sounds nuts. And I think that we're going to get a lot more, man. And I think that these big guys that we already have in the league, I think that they recognize once Wemby and the San Antonio Spurs actually do win it, I think that's going to be what the skill set is. And we live in a copycat league, and big guys are going to see that. And in order for me to play in the NBA, I got to be able to do that. And if I can't do that, I'm not going to be able to stick around. Because the back to the basket guy, the guy who just does dirty work, that guy's not going to be around.
That guy's gone. Yeah, I agree with that. We haven't had any consistency for real. We've had so many different lineups, so many guys in and out of the rotation. Guys are all over the place. Some guys haven't played in ever. Some guys are just put in the rotation. Some guys are new here. It's a lot of that goes in. Bro, you got the deepest, supposedly best roster in the NBA. It shouldn't matter, but Oh, we don't have a roster. It's not consistent. Shut the hell up and retire already. What the hell is he crying about?
Okay, so Tone,
how much more star power do you need to be successful? We don't have enough. He sounds like LeBron. We don't have enough. I need more help.
Can we get past being Buffalo for a
Buffalo.
second? Can we get past because I know how you feel about the Clippers. Can we get past them being Buffalo for a second? Okay. I want you to take your blinders off and get past being Buffalo just for a second. And what he sounds to me like a guy who's on a crew that got thrown together. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like a bunch of dudes on paper, and we're gonna throw this together and we're gonna see if this works. Because none of these guys have played together like that. Like Jason Collins knew.
Harden
Lopez knew. Okay, Harden been there. Okay, Leonard been in that lineup. Zubac.
He was
Zubac been there. Okay, so those three, like Dunn, rotation guy, he been there. But then you add Bradley Beal, who has not been good this year at all. Not only do you add Bradley Beal, you add Brook Lopez. No, well,
he hasn't been good for 5 years.
He's not terrible, right?
I didn't say he was terrible.
He's been terrible this year, though. Yes, he has been. He wasn't terrible. He wasn't terrible last year. He's definitely been terrible this year. With that being said, right? With that being said, you add some new guys to the group. When you throw stuff against the wall, when you add in a bunch of different guys, what do you expect to happen? You think y'all just gonna come out the gate rolling? No. Yeah. And on top of that, they old. So in addition to you throwing dudes on the crew that's new, you got a bunch of old guys. And you got another broken down guy in Kawhi Leonard who barely plays. What do you expect this to? What do you expect this to be?
But he never. That's his MO. He never. That's who he is.
Will this be the first year that the Clippers? I mean, I think the Clippers are going to make the playoffs, but is it possible?
No, the Clippers are going to clip. I told you the clip. What did I tell you? I told you the Clippers are the 76ers of last year.
Oh my God, this is going to be awful.
Terrible. I want to get to you guys that are waiting in the chat, so I'm going to go. I cut you off quick. The Miami Heat, you said this a couple of times, have scored 130 plus points 4 times this season. They did it 3 times all last season. This
Mitchell.
I will say with you know how I am. When I'm right, I'm right. When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. This team is surprising the heck out of me. I did not expect them to be this good.
I didn't either.
Which is why I was watching them when they won that game in overtime because they've been good.
Yes, they have. They've been very good. And I like what I'm seeing from Miami. Defensively, offensively, the fact that they playing faster. Jaime Jaquez just looks like he's settling in perfect for this group. And they didn't even have Bam for the last 2 games. And they lost yesterday. I mean, they won yesterday, but I like what I'm seeing from this group. I do. I like what I'm seeing from this group.
They're going to make noise. They're going to make noise.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are, Tony.
Enough empty talk. Know the game. Receive the knowledge of all courts. Fluent and Chill will guide you. Be as one. Locked in.
I love that AI.
Check us out.
Did you see how he turned everyone's head into a knowledge of basketball? It's because when you watch the show, that's what happens. Okay. We don't really have time for what I'm about to do. And there's 2 people waiting, and I'm going to get to both of you, I promise. But I will say quickly, I'll pull them up and you tell me if you would have, I'm going to read the list and you tell me if you would change anything on this list. So I'll stop. This is the top 25 players of the 21st century. And I'm just going to go through these and then I'll go through the top 15. So first you got going in reverse order. SGA, Carmelo, Tatum, Kidd, Davis, Pierce, Doncic, Howard, Iverson, Westbrook, Nash, Harden, Chris Paul, Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Garnett, Dwayne Wade, Dirk, Giannis, Shaq, Durant, Jokic, Bryant, Duncan, Curry, LeBron James.
Not like us.
LeBron James.
Move Steve Nash up.
How far up?
I'm moving Steve Nash ahead of Chris Paul.
Okay.
And move Shaq up too. Shaq is all the way down to 7. Nah, I'm moving Shaq up to move Bryant up too, by the way, and move Curry down. Yes, move Bryant up, move Shaq up, move Bryant up, move Curry down.
All right. So here's the challenge for next week, you have this list, or do I need to send it to you?
No, I got it.
Okay. For next week, I want to reorder these the way you think it should be.
Mm-hmm.
So 21st century. So last, I guess, since 2000. And next week we go over our top 25.
Yep.
Does that work? Okay. So
that's fine. Yeah, I'm down to do that.
I'm going to keep that right there. I would be remiss if I didn't, it's a little somber, but we should pay our respects. First, Lenny Wilkens, one of the best combo player coaches we have ever seen, passed away. Any thoughts on Lenny Wilkens? I saw you guys talking about him on the panel a little bit today. Was there anything that kind of came up?
Just a great coach, damn good player, 9-time All-Star, won the NBA championship as a coach with the Seattle Supersonics in 1979, all-time leading wins, past Red Auerbach when he was in Cleveland. Just a great guy and a great coach. So I think it's awesome that he was around for as long as he was around. 88 years old. Awesome.
Michael Ray Richardson. I think less people know anything about him. Is there anything specifically that stood out to you that people should know that they maybe don't know?
One of the biggest what ifs. Drugs derailed his career. He was one of the better players in the game, an all-star, one kind of revolutionized the big guard in the NBA, 6'5", could get to the rim, could get buckets on anybody, was a damn good passer, but he derailed his career and because he had drug problems, and that was his biggest issue. But he was a great player. And it's sad to see that we couldn't see him reach his full potential because of drugs.
Yeah, that's been one of the, not as much anymore, thankfully. But if you go back 30, 40 years, that's actually been one of the biggest things that, the biggest what ifs I find are those. That being said, we do have a couple people waiting. So we're going to go a couple of minutes over 10 o'clock. And then after that, everyone should head over to playback. Is it at 11? 11?
Sacramento and Denver.
Sacramento and Denver. You can watch the Nuggets smoke the team that should be blowing things up. And first up, your old friend, Jay.
Kind of like what Oklahoma City is doing to Golden State right now. They're up by 35 right now. Tony,
I'm bringing one of your old friends up, Jay.
Who's that?
I think you missed him. He's been gone for a long time. Ever since Haley left, we haven't seen him very much. So I think there was something there.
Oh, what up?
What's up, guys? It's been a while. Missed you guys.
How's it going, brother?
I love what you've done with the channel, Fluent.
Thank you, sir.
So let's steer a little bit off from basketball. Let's talk about football.
Let's go.
First off, your Bears are doing really good, Fluent. What are your expectations to the end of the season?
Well, at this point, it's got to be playoffs. It's got to be playoffs. This is what you look for in a team. Games they shouldn't listen. Historically, the Bears lose games they should win, and that's why they suck. When a team starts to make and win games they should lose, that's a team that's going to have some success and make it to the playoffs. So hopefully they can keep it up.
And also, as good as we've seen the 49ers for the past couple of years, well, not last year, but are they the third best team in the West right now? Chill.
We're actually the best team in the West, except for the Rams. We're the second best team in the West.
Seattle, you think?
Yeah, but the biggest problem, we really miss our middle linebacker and our edge rusher. We really miss that.
Fred Warner.
We can't stop on third down. We do a terrible job stopping the run. We got 4 guys that are rookies that are playing defense. We really don't have good cover guys. Our defense has basically been to our detriment, and it all starts with our middle linebacker in Fred Warner and our edge rusher in Bosa. And I think if we had those 2 guys, I think that we'd be right back at the top of the NFC West.
I agree. I'm not going to talk about the Cowboys. You already know they have the worst defense in the NFL.
Do they? I don't know if they worse than the Raiders. I don't think they worse than the Raiders defense. The Raiders can't stop a nosebleed.
Cowboys have the same thing that they've always had, the worst owner in the league.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that they can stop a nosebleed. They've been terrible.
And lastly, who do you think won the Micah trade, the Cowboys or the Packers?
I still got to see it. I got to see what happens between Parsons and Green Bay, and I got to see what those first round picks turn into that they got from Green Bay. So we'll see.
It's good seeing you guys.
All right.
Yep.
See you, brother. Appreciate you.
All right,
Jay. Oh, almost clicked on the wrong one. I guarantee you he's going to talk about the Patriots.
What up?
What's up, guys?
What up?
Patriots are too good for you not to talk about, so go.
DM10 for MVP. Y'all can't tell me he ain't the MVP, bro. Tell me he's not the MVP, Chill. Tell me.
Jonathan Taylor got something to say about that.
They don't give running backs MVPs no more, Chill.
So what? Maybe they should. Maybe they should.
It might be time. It might be time to give one.
Maybe they should.
Really?
I said this before the season started. I said this before the season started. I said this last year. I thought Jonathan Taylor was the best running back in the league. That includes Saquon Barkley. That includes C-Mac. I thought he was the best running back in the league. And it translated from college to the pros. He was the leading rusher in the Big Ten when he played in the Big Ten. He comes to the pros. He's the leading rusher in the league. Then he got hurt. And then what ended up happening is that he got back in the mix and they got a competent quarterback in Daniel Jones. And I think they're much better because of it. I would not be surprised if Jonathan Taylor won the league MVP. That would not bug me out.
The Daniel Jones part is really what's going to hold them back because they really have a good passing game. They've got an elite passing game right now. So how much more value is he to that team? You know what I mean?
That's why they got that's why they have an elite passing game because they got an elite rushing game for that reason right there. Because the rush sets up the pass.
Look at Drake, they had one of the worst records last season. Coming into this season, May completely just flips it around entirely. If May, and by the way, we have the easiest schedule remaining in the remaining. We have the easiest schedule. May is on pace, Chill, to break Drew Brees' record. That's how efficient he is as a passer right now. He's on pace to break Drew Brees' record. Single season, completely.
If he does that, it's gonna be hard not as they vote because they do vote for QBs way more than running backs. If he does that, it's gonna be hard to keep him from winning MVP. But let me just point out, we've seen this with Daniel Jones not that long ago. Everybody thought Daniel Jones was a good quarterback when he had Saquon. Remember, Saquon had a great year, and they were like, "Whoa, Daniel Jones is a good quarterback," and I'm like, No, Saquon's making him look good, and then Saquon's gone, and now Daniel Jones looks horrible, and they get rid of him for a bag of potato chips. Now, all of a sudden, Daniel Jones is really good again. No, he's the same Daniel Jones. He just has a running game. I get what you're saying, but I bet you if the roles were reversed and Drake May was doing the same thing on the Colts, and you had Jonathan Taylor, you'd be saying Jonathan Taylor should be the MVP. And I think they should stop only giving it to quarterbacks. But you're right. Typically, that's who they give it to, and it's going to be tough not to give it to.
Taylor or DM10 for it?
What?
Say that last part again.
Who are you taking, DM10 or Taylor for MVP?
I think Jonathan Taylor deserves it right now. But like I said, if he breaks Brees' record, if he breaks the record, he's going to get it. He's going to get it because, like you said, it will go to the quarterback. Doesn't mean I agree with it.
What record are we talking about Drake May breaking? The completion percentage record?
The single season completion percentage record. May's on pace to break it.
If I'm not mistaken,
he's at 71% and has the easiest schedule remaining out of any other team in the league. He's on pace to break it, Chill.
Pretty confident that Drew Brees did not win the league MVP the year he did that.
Well, we all know why. He got robbed of a lot. He got robbed plenty of times for winning league MVP.
But if the thing is, Jay, I hate to say it, and I disagree, but that people do it. But I think when you're a quarterback and you break, whether it's yards, touchdowns, completion percentage is probably not as high as the other two. You break those types of records, you're gonna. I think they're gonna. He'll at least get votes. especially if they finish like what they're 8-2, so they're on pace to win like 14
games, Tone.
Like,
if you told me, because you've sold me some Whoppers before and I bought them, and then you've come with some other stuff that I was like, no way that's happening, and it happened. Tone, if I would have told you before the season started, Tone, I got $500. I'm putting it on Drake May to win league MVP. Here we are in week 10.
How about I bet you $500 that the Patriots will win their division and win 13 plus games?
I would have told, if you would have said that to me, I would have said, I see your $500, Tone, and I'll raise you 1,000.
There you go.
That's what I would have said to you. I see your 500 and I'll raise you 1,000. Ain't no way that's happening.
Joe, do you think May should be in serious consideration
for league MVP?
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, if you consider what the Patriots are doing right now, they're in first place in the NFC. They're in first place in the AFC West, AFC East. With them being in first place in the AFC East, which nobody had that on their bingo card, and anybody to tell you that they did, they lying. They tied for the best record.
Totally did.
Nope. You did not have y'all having the best record in the
AFC.
No, you didn't.
I thought so because Buffalo, like the way I was watching.
No, you didn't, Jay. You did not think y'all was gonna be better than Buffalo. You did not.
They got
you did not.
As a fan, he probably did, Jay. As a fan, he probably.
Give me a break, man. Okay, so all right. Say that part's on I could get with. Okay, as a fan, yes, but if you're actually watching football, if you're watching football and you look at their roster and you look at their run game and you look at their wide receivers who are solid and you think about their quarterback and Drake May and you look at what's going on with Josh Allen as a football guy, you're not looking at that New England team going, they better than them. You're not thinking that. No way.
No, it's because Josh Allen's owned the AFC East for like years now. So as a fan, I think
they're better than you guys. That's why. Not just because he's owned the AFC East, because they're better than you. That's why.
Do you still think they're better now?
I think now we can definitely have a conversation.
Say they're better.
Like, because we're gonna have to play them to really like go anywhere in the playoffs.
Yes, sir.
You gotta beating them, give them their money.
Well, they're only a game behind you guys, and I think that Buffalo's run defense, I don't love it. I used to love it. I don't love it, and I actually do love your running back. I do. So, all right, Jay, good to talk to you, brother.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Last one. Oh, is he still there? Oh, yes, he is. No, he's there. He's there.
What up?
Yo, what's up? Chill was good. Fluent was good.
What up?
Mainly the Fluent, because I asked Chill this morning. I wanted to ask you, say you was a GM in the NBA, and when it comes to bucket getters, I asked Chill, would you keep them into a 1 to 2 year deal every year until they showed you something different?
Okay,
For example, guys like
I need more on the question when you say bucket getters.
So guys like Cam, primary bucket getters like Cam Thomas, right? Guys like that, like
like players like that.
Scorers, just straight bucket getters. Tone, are you signing them to 4 or 5 year deals?
No, because the thing with, I'll call it a one-dimensional guy who like they do one thing and they do it, and they can do it really, really well.
Sure,
they're always better when their deals are either 1 or 2 years and their deals are coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I get a guy who is a bucket getter, as you would say, and again, I'm assuming he does nothing else. Primarily, I want him playing for his next contract if I can. Right? There's going to be times when there's a guy that I want and I want to sign him for a 2 year, but other teams are offering him 3 or 4, and then I gotta decide what I want. I just think there's a lot of guys. This is what's so good about today's NBA. I think there's a lot of guys who can score. There's a lot of guys that can score, so I don't think it's as a premium as maybe it used to be.
Tone,
I prefer them as a GM on a shorter term deal because I know they're somewhat replaceable. But again, if I get someone who's elite, I'm going to keep them for as long as I can.
All right, appreciate it. That's all that.
Yeah,
we got 5 guys in the league averaging 30 a game. Tone, 5.
Yeah, like that's unprecedented. That's crazy.
We got 5 guys in the league averaging 30 plus.
You just said there's no elite scorer on the Heat, and they're dropping 130 half of their games this season.
Norman Powell's in the top 20 in the league in scoring. He averaging 24 a game, almost 25 a game, and that's almost nothing.
Well, I think over the last few years he's been averaging 18 or 20 anyways. It's not like that's.
But and to the dude who said that, who had the comment about that's not just a rotational player. I think you guys think about rotational players as, I mean, just because you're a rotational player does not mean you're not awesome.
No, yeah,
was a rotational player. So what?
Manu was a rotational player.
Yes, he was. Jamal Crawford's a rotation player, right? Lou Williams was a rotation player. So what? You're a rotation player. That doesn't mean that you ain't awesome.
It's not like bottom of the rotation.
Right.
Oh, okay. I was about to say one more thing, but hey, it's Lem.
What up?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I had posted the question in the chat, but chill. I also, because I've been tuning into your lives whenever you streaming during the day. I can just never get in because I tune in whenever you're about to end and everything. So main question is, I'm a New Orleans fan, born and raised, Saints, Pelicans, everything.
Sure.
So do you feel, I don't know how much Pelicans basketball you've watched, do you feel that with the past 100 games that have been recorded under Willie Green, it being 25 and 75, do you believe that it is time for us to move on from Willie Green?
I think it's time for you to move on from Zion. I don't think Willie Green got a fair shake. I think that's the biggest issue. When he had Zion last season at the lead guard spot, it was working, but then he got banged up again, and he had to take him out of the lineup. I think with this kid Derek Queen that you have, and I think with this kid Fears. I'm sorry, this kid Fears that you have. I think that it may be time to move into the direction of a new era, because I think Willie Green can coach. I think he's got some good philosophies. He's very much into defense. He's very much into rebounding. This kid Misi doesn't really seem like he's getting the shot to develop into what I think he can develop into. And that's a really good dirty work player who can score when given the opportunity as a rim runner and as a lob threat. Trey Murphy, it just doesn't seem to be working out like I thought it would. And I don't think that's coaching. I think that he just is one of those players that doesn't really play outside of getting buckets. Like I think he can do other things, but I feel like guys like Herb Jones are wasting away down there. And I do think it's time to move into a different direction. Yes.
Right. I mean, so I agree with most of that. I think that we should move on from Zion too. However, if you're not going to move on from Zion, especially from the fact that he looks like he is in good shape.
Great shape. Yep.
And I feel like there's too many things that I have been seeing and that I've been hearing and everything around with this team, because I'm super locked in with this team. I have been since like the old Hornets days, like Chris Paul, David West, Peja, everything.
How do you feel about your roster?
There are holes in our roster that I do not like. I think Jordan Poole should not have been brought on to be the main point guard, especially if you're going to draft a Jeremiah Fears, and with DeJounte out. I think if you're going to do anything, you need to move off of the DeJounte contract with him coming off of an ACL injury and try to go pick up a point guard for decently cheap, especially with ownership being known for not really paying high price for a lot of good guys.
And so, and the reason I asked that question, and I know you had a couple more because I pulled up the comment here, it's at the bottom, but the reason I asked that question is I agree there's a lot of holes in the roster, and although it may be not coach's fault, a new culture needs to be kind of created there, right? Because you've got a player, he's been injured, you've had some, guys come in and out, whatever. It's time to say, hey, and I agree with everything you said about those guys. It's like, okay, let's move off from Murray, let's move on from here, let's move off from that's why I say kind of blow it up, bring in a young core, because you're right, because you're not going to pay them a lot, and develop slowly, get a bunch of draft picks for whoever you can for Zion, blah, blah, blah. And then just bring in a younger coach maybe, or coach that typically develops younger players, does a lot with less, and restart. Sometimes you just got to restart the culture. Right. Because I think
you know that
yes.
You know that Joe Dumas gave up an unprotected first-round pick.
Yeah, I know. And
I just want to put that on your mind, Tone.
Oh no,
I don't know what the hell he was thinking when he did that, but he was betting on he was betting on Fears and he was betting on Queen. But
here's where I give Chill a little pushback. Chill, you've been watching basketball for a while. The number one thing that most GMs do whenever they take over a team is what?
Clean house.
Exactly. David Griffin brought in Willie Green at the request of BI and Josh Hart and all them because it was more of a player's coach, right?
Sure.
But we know that if BI and Josh Hart are coming into this team, it is not their team. They're coming in to back up Zion, right? Now, the coach
Correct.
that Zion had the most success with was Gentry. Or not Gentry, Van Gundy.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's not working with Willie Green, who is a player's coach, and you had the most success under Van Gundy, why not just fire Willie Green and bring in a coach like Van Gundy, right? Like
Well,
if Borrego has been known to push his players hard, I don't know how it would work. I think it would work well. Go try to find Tom Thibodeau. Or not Tom Thibodeau. Tibbs.
Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah.
No, don't bring in Tom Thibodeau. I would say bring in Adrian Griffin if you ask me.
So we clear, the Van Gundy experiment was a disaster. I mean, he got fired after 1 year.
Yeah,
so,
but it was also Zion's most productive year. And if you're trying to build around Zion, the reason why I am saying that
you want to keep Zion, if you were GM, would you keep him?
I would see what the roster is worth before I make any moves, knowing that 2026 unprotected pick is out there. I would try to damage control that as much as I can. And if it's not working with Willie Green, because if I don't know if any of y'all knew, but last season, the last game that the Pelicans won was not under Willie Green. It was under Borrego. Willie Green came into this season with a loss streak, and then we went on another loss streak, and then we had that 2-game win, and now we're starting on another loss streak.
I just think that the roster needs to be revamped.
I think it's. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but I think it's more the roster than the coach. And I will say, Dumars. I hate to say this because to your point, he didn't clean house. I think Dumars might be a little too nice to be a GM. You got to be real cutthroat.
It's time to go, yo. Time to go.
I don't think Dumars wants Willie there. Because Griff toward the end didn't want Willie there. Griff called for Willie's job, and then they fired Griff instead, and they kept Willie.
Yeah.
All right, Len. Good to talk to you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Leaf, quick. We're over, but I'm bringing you on because I like you.
What up? Nope. We had him and then we didn't.
No, you done? Mm-hmm. Okay. Or in that case,
enough empty talk. Know the game. Receive the knowledge of all courts. Fluent and Chill will guide you. Be as one.
Absolutely. I know what it is when y'all see us.
I love that shit. You gotta wait for the music, man.
Speaking of waiting, y'all know what time it is when y'all see us. It doesn't take long. I mean, you know where we are. We're here every Tuesday on the Sports Fluent Network, right here on Chilltown Hoops Network. Me and my man Tony, we do this every Tuesday, so it's not hard to find us. We will see you guys soon. Until then, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother. Well, last time we talked to your mother. Call your mother. We will see you guys soon, but until then, take it light, but take it. Hey, shout out Ticket TV. Thanks for coming through, my man. I ain't seen my man Ticket in a minute. No doubt. That was dope.
Go watch him. Go watch him on playback at 11 o'clock. This show was a disaster.
Fluent and chill, we call it how it's played from the field to the court. Every minute is away. Fourth quarter heat, over 2-minute drill. If you can't handle truth, better chill with the skill. LeBron or MJ.